everybody, my name is Danielle Nicole and welcome to Monetary Makeup. If you have oily dehydrated skin, you're over 30, and you love natural glowy makeup, then this video is definitely for you. While I share all of my holy grail hidden gems that are not talked about much on YouTube, our topic of the day is going to be monetary millennial mistakes and solutions to those mistakes. So if you're excited to get started, don't forget to hit the like button, and let's get started right now. So I am rocking my natural 80s hairstyle. It just is what it is. I didn't have time to straighten it today. So let's get started with the base products, and the first one is going to be a primer. We have a lot of products to get through, so I'm going to try to be as quick as possible. So the first one is called this e.l.f. Glow Radiant Moisturizer. Now this moisturizer is actually not found in stores from what I've seen, so I actually ordered this directly from the e.l.f. website. I know it's a little bit hard to see, and I'll be doing swatches and a wear test of all these products so you can see them up close in natural daylight. So I ordered this directly from the e.l.f. website, and this is probably my 5th bottle that I've gone through, and even this one, I'm about to be on my 6th bottle. So this is a moisturizer, but I actually use it as a primer because it gives such a natural glowy base, but I find as a moisturizer in and of itself, it doesn't quite provide enough hydration. So the only thing I have on my skin right now is actually the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Water Gel Moisturizer. This is such a great moisturizer if you have oily, dehydrated skin like myself. And let's go in with this e.l.f. Plus Glow Radiant Moisturizer first. So I usually use about a pump and a half of this, but I'm just going to apply it to the left side of my face. You can see the difference from having nothing on versus this moisturizer. So I'm just going to squirt out maybe half a pump right there and start applying this up close. This is such an underrated e.l.f. product, you guys. I don't think I've really seen anyone review this. And it's really sad to me that they don't offer it in stores because it's so beautiful. Now, this moisturizer, I call it a primer, but it does leave a noticeable sheen without any glitter. I do not like glitter, especially on my over 30 skin. So this is the perfect product to use to give you that fresh, glowy, dewy look, but without any of the glitter. And I actually kind of dab it real gently over my eyes as well. So I just finished applying the e.l.f. Radiant Moisturizer, and I forgot to mention it does have SPF 15 in it. And it does smell like a little bit like SPF and also coconut. It's not super strong, but it does have a scent for those who are wondering. So let me give you a close-up. See that natural sheen? It's just beautiful. On no makeup days, I'll just apply this all over my skin and call it good. It's that beautiful. Now the next product I'm going to go in with is another product from e.l.f., which is the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Putty Primer. I actually did a 2-month review of this included with the e.l.f. Putty Bronzers. So if you're interested in seeing how this helped out my skin, I'll definitely link it right up here. But this is what it looks like. It's green, and it's almost identical to the original putty primer, but this has salicylic acid in it. Now, in addition to oily, dehydrated skin, I also suffer from adult acne, so I just scoop out a little bit of this and apply it all over my T-zone. Now, what I use to scoop out this product is actually the e.l.f. Putty Primer Applicator. It's really nice because it has this scooper on the end, and I think both of these are only $8 or $10, so definitely affordable. So I'm just going to scoop out just a little bit and apply that all over to the center of my face. And instead of doing just a swiping motion, what I like to do is just pat it into my pores. I find that's the best way to apply this primer. Otherwise, you don't really notice too much of a difference. So I'm just going to pat this in, and then we'll move on to the next product. Okay, so let's move on to brows. I am one of the people that do my eyes first always, just because I do not like to worry about any fallout. I'm a busy mom. I don't have time to be going back through and dusting it all away. So my 2 holy grail hidden gems are actually from Nyx. The first is this Nyx Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. And why I really love this brow pen is because the tip is extremely pointy. So you really get those natural brush hair strokes. Now I'm one of those people that prefer just to add in a couple of strokes, and then after I'm finished with that, I go in with the NYX Brow Glue. Have any of you guys tried this brow glue? It is such a good product. It sets my brows in place and they don't become super stiff at the end of the day, because I don't like that either. So just to save time, I'm going to apply this NYX Brow Tint pen in the shade Taupe. And then I'm going to go in with the NYX Brow Glue off camera just to save time. And then I'll give you guys a close-up of what my brows look like after I apply these two. Okay, so brows are finished. It only took about 2 minutes to go in with this brow pen and the NYX Brow Glue. So this is what they're looking like. All right, moving on. Now I always set my eyelids with primer. I will not even attempt to wear any sort of eyeshadow, cream, or powder without using eye primer. So my holy grail is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer. It's only $5, you guys. I know I talk about it all the time on my channel, but it just controls my oils and leaves my eyeshadow looking super blended and beautiful. So I find the best way for application is just to take my ring finger and kind of pat it in. We're using a lot of e.l.f. products, but I absolutely love e.l.f. I think they make such great quality makeup. You will never hear me say this is a good product for the price. The price is something I don't take into equation on my channel. I think it's either good or it's not, and if it's also affordable, then that's just another bonus. All right, I'm gonna do the other eye real quick here. Okay, e.l.f. Eye Putty Primer is on. Now let's get on to the fun part, the eyes. So the first product I go in with is this Westman Atelier Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit, which looks like this. Now yes, I love this as a contour as well, but where my favorite area to apply is on the eyes. So I also just go in with my ring finger. You guys know me, quick, easy makeup. I'm all about getting out the door. And I just focus this on my lid and kind of bring it up into my crease. Now, I know this Westman Atelier Contour Stick, it's expensive, you guys. It's $48. But if you are looking for another alternative, I would say the e.l.f. Putty Bronzers in the shade Honey Drip would be a good dupe if you're looking for a shade similar to this. All right, so now let's create some fun definition on my eyes. So this bad boy is the Rms Burrity Bronzer. They only have one shade. And this undertone, I'm just going to swatch it here real quick next to the Westman Atelier so you can see what the undertone looks like. This is the only bronzer I've ever found that has a golden red undertone. And with cool skin, I find that this is just the perfect shade for my face or my eyes. So this is what the two shades are looking like. This more brown one is Westman Atelier, and then this is the Rms Burrity Bronzer. So I'm just going to go in once again with my ring finger and the RMS and apply a little bit to the outer corner of my eyes. And you'll see in just a second when I'm finished, this shade is just absolutely beautiful, you guys. Okay, so here's just a quick close-up with the Rms Burrity Bronzer and the Westman Atelier stick in my crease. So this is what my eyes are looking like. As you can see, it's just absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to show you the wear test at the end of the day. These two bronzers slash contours last all day. So that is all I typically do on my eyes, at least at this point. So next, let's go in with mascara. My holy grail mascara is the Essence Lash Princess, the original. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do without this mascara. It has the perfect shape for a wand because it's kind of like a cone, so it gets bigger on the inside, and it does such a good job at creating length definition, and it lasts all day. So I'm going to apply this to my eyelashes and then give you guys a close-up. Okay, so really quick, I only applied mascara, the Essence Lash Princess, on this side. So let me give you guys a close-up. Look at that length and volume. Oh, it's so beautiful. Okay, so my holy grail foundation is actually a tinted moisturizer, the Wet n Wild Tinted Moisturizer Bare Focus, and I use the shade Porcelain, which is the lightest shade. If you guys have not tried this, it is $5, but I swear it outperforms all of my high-end foundations. So for application, I always go in with my damp Shot Missé sponge, and speaking of Shot Missé, they also have this palette, which includes a spatula, and it was like $2, you guys. So if you ever need any sponges or anything like this, Shop Mistake is the place to go. So I'm just gonna shake this up and apply a little squirt on my hand and start blending. I'm kind of backwards. I know everyone applies their foundation first, or differently I should say, but I apply my foundation top to bottom. I don't know why, I've just always done that. I start with the forehead and work my way down. I don't know if I'm weird, but that's what I do. While I'm applying this tinted moisturizer, I do just want to mention that this does have a true medium coverage if you build it up. I only applied one application, but you know how most tinted moisturizers are pretty sheer? This is not like that. This actually gives really good coverage. One little trick I always do is I take just a little bit of product on the tip of the sponge, and I always go in to my nose like that because the butt of the sponge, I guess you could say, it doesn't blend in those creases very well. So I always make sure to do that so I don't miss any patches. Okay everybody, so this is what my skin is looking like with the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Moisturizer. It just is so beautiful. And I don't honestly think you'd be able to tell that I have foundation on. So this is what it's looking like so far. Okay, so next I have contour and bronzer. Now this brand is actually a somewhat new US brand based in California. If there was one product I had to pick out of this entire video that really just blew me away, it's from the brand Half Caked, and they have these candy paint bronzers slash contours. When I first saw these, I thought they looked like Polly Pockets. This cannot be good makeup. Literally the packaging, it just reminded me of like Claire's or something like that. But this shade that I have in my hand right here is Coolness, and it comes with a mirror. Now this is a holy grail hidden gem. I have two different shades, so that is Coolness, which is of course cool. And the next shade I have is Morning View. Morning View is a little bit more neutral, but it's still leaning on the cool side. So sometimes I'll use both, but typically I'll just go in with Morning View and use it as a bronzer, and it also kind of carves out my cheekbones. You guys have to try this brand. I normally don't say that you have to try anything, but I got these in a set of 3 for $22, and I believe on their own they're $8 or $10, somewhere in there. They are beautiful. They are balms, and they are so pigmented. Now you know how the KVD Good Apple Foundation is a balm? I don't know if any of you have tried that, but when you stick your finger in, your finger just goes bloop and it's super soft. This is like a straight up balm, so you can be kind of firm when you stick your finger in, but look how pigmented that is. I mean, I just rubbed it in a tiny bit. Oh my gosh, and it's such a dewy, beautiful finish. It lasts all day. So if any of you are here from Amanda Z's video and I mentioned that hidden brand, it is this brand called Half Caked. So next, let's go in with the shade Morning View and apply that as a bronzer on my face. So I have my little collection here of Shop Mistake sponges. I find the best way to apply cream bronzers or balm bronzers or liquid bronzers is actually with a dry sponge. So I'm going to use this mini sponge because I don't find I have as much precision with a large sponge. So I'm just going to dip in. Now you just need a little bit with these, you guys, because they're so pigmented. Here, you'll see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to start with the forehead. Look at that. I mean, I just applied a tiny bit, but they blend out so beautifully. And the finish of these bronzers, you guys, I mean, I'll show you in natural daylight. It is just to die for. Because even though they're extremely pigmented and they have more of a dewy finish, they last all day. I mean, it's just a dream come true. I cannot imagine living without this brand. I tried it once, and I went back in and ordered backups of everything I ordered. They're amazing. Honestly, I hope one day to get sponsored by them because no one talks about them. I think it's just because they're a newer brand, and honestly, the packaging is, it's a little cheap looking, but don't let the packaging fool you. They make amazing products. Alright, now that the forehead is done, let's apply this to my cheekbones. And I do have to give credit to Anna Rosinski. She's another YouTuber who actually introduced me to this brand. I am so thankful to her because, like I said, this is just a hidden gem. I just can't imagine living without it. So thank you so much, Anna, for showing me these products. I'll try to remember to link her, Anna Rosinski, and Amanda Z, the one I was talking about earlier. They're smaller YouTubers, and I always love supporting other women in the space. I'm going to build this up a little bit more just because I know it's a little bit harder to see on camera. So I'm going to be extra sculpted today. Honestly, I don't care. I love this bronzer so much that I don't mind. I'm going to be bronzed to the gods today, and it's going to be great. Okay, so bronzer is on. It's looking beautiful. So now let's move on to blush. Does anyone else have a blush obsession, a cream blush obsession? I do. I have hundreds, it seems like, of cream blushes, and one I just cannot stop putting down is from Urban Decay, and this is called their Face and Lip Tint. Now, one issue I often find with lip or face tints is that they typically pick up the makeup you apply your foundation underneath. These do not do that, and they last all day. So I have several shades, but the one we're going to go in with today is called Quiver, and it looks a little bit intimidating, but it's a beautiful, cool, reddish undertone. So I just honestly take a dry sponge, just like I did with the bronzers, and look at that, super pigmented again. So I'm going to dab just a little bit off, and I always start kind of at the back and work my way down. That way everything blends out so I don't have such a harsh line. But look at that. Do you guys see how pigmented that is? I mean, I'm actually going to go on this side and apply some because I took too much. So don't let the face and lip tint name deter you from these blushes. They are beautiful. You just have to go in with less and build up however much product you like. Oh no! I just dropped my Urban Decay face and lip tint right on the ground. Ugh, I hate when that happens. I have this huge red stain on my carpet now. I don't know why, but I'm in an 80s mood today. I guess it's because my hair is matching. So I'm going to take this all the way up, kind of like they used to do in the 80s. I'm going to be extra bronze, extra blushed, and I just love it. Oh my god, I just got an eyelash in my contact. Oh, hold please. Okay, so if you are looking for a beautiful dewy highlighter that actually leaves a noticeable sheen, but is not greasy and is not glittery, I have found that for you. The e.l.f. Jelly Pop Glow Stick. This actually just released, and I believe, again, it's around $8 or $10. I noticed a lot of their products are $8 or $10, but this is what this glow stick looks like. Oh my gosh, first of all, it smells like watermelon. Very slight, but I just love the smell. And I'm going to swatch this on my hand, and then I'll show you natural daylight too. But see that? Oh my gosh, it just gives a beautiful sheen without any glitter. And it's not super sticky. I don't like really sticky highlighters. So for this, I actually just go in with my finger, and I'm just going to dab this all over where I typically highlight, right here. And I'm not afraid to go in with quite a bit of this just because I love highlighter. Particularly balm or glowy highlighters way more than powder. I'm in my 30s, you guys. I just can't get away with those super stark, powdery, glittery highlights like I used to. So this is just beautiful, and it's affordable on top of it. Does anyone else get super excited when they apply highlighter? I just feel like it makes everything look seamless and all together. One other thing I do is I'm going to go back into my Urban Decay blush, and I just take a tiny bit and apply it to my nose, and it kind of gives that natural sunburnt look, but you have to be careful that you don't go in with too much. So I just applied a little bit on my nose, and it kind of gives you that cute button nose effect too. Okay, I forgot to mention also, you guys are probably wondering why I didn't use concealer. I don't have terribly dark under eyes, but if I did want to go in with concealer, I would go in with this new KOSAS Revealer Concealer. I actually just reviewed that, so I'll put a timestamp up here. All right, lastly, lips. So it would not be a video if I didn't include the wonderful Wet n Wild matte lipsticks. And I have the shade Skinny Dipping. So this is a super original product. These lipsticks have been around for years and years. And again, it's just a hidden gem. I cannot live without these lipsticks. Part of the reason I love this shade is because once again, it's cool. So as you can see, it's not super peachy, super pink, super brown. It just has the perfect undertone for my skin. So I'm gonna apply lipstick, and then on top of the Wet n Wild matte lipstick, I always go in with this e.l.f. Retro Paradise lip gloss. And it does have glitter in it, but I don't find it's super glittery or noticeable, but I just apply a little bit in the center. So I'll be right back with these two products on. Okay, so if you've made it this far, don't forget to comment Monetary Makeup down below if you're finding value with these hidden gems. We are almost done, home run now. So the last thing I'd like to do, I just finished my lips, is go in with a highlight on the inner corner and my brow bone. And as far as cream products go, because today is all about creams, glowy, dewy makeup, we are going to be using the ColourPop Light Sticks, and the shade I use is called Star Bright. Now, I don't particularly like this shade on my skin because it does have a golden shift to it, so it's just a little bit too glittery and golden for the rest of my face, but it does wonders for the brow bone and inner corner highlight. So I'm going to use this Sanya Kashuk brush, which it looks just like this, and apply that in those two spots, and I'll be right back. Okay, and the last product I'd like to share with you before setting spray is because I also have acne in addition to oily dehydrated skin. When it comes to concealer and just spot concealing, my holy grail hands down is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and I use the shade C4. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of that to my spots, and then I'll show you the setting spray. Hi everybody, so I just finished the rest of my makeup with applying the ColourPop highlighter on the inner corner of my eyes. So this is what it's looking like so far. Now as far as setting sprays, this e.l.f. Glow Dewiness, oh my gosh you guys, it is beautiful. Sorry if you can hear the birds, I'm outside right now. But you know how a lot of dewy setting sprays, it's almost like you just applied water on your face, or they're like you applied glitter everywhere. This isn't like that. It is the perfect mix of a dewy finishing setting spray. So I'm losing quite a bit of sunlight outside. It's just what happens when you live in Michigan. So I'm going to apply this dewy setting mist right now. That way you guys can see how it looks once it's applied. And it just melts everything in so seamlessly and gives a beautiful natural glow. And it does have a coconutty SPF scent. Nope, no SPF, I take that back, just a coconut scent. So this is what my skin looks like once everything is finished. I think it looks super natural and everything looks seamless and beautiful. Okay, so next we're going to cut into swatches, then the topic of the day. And don't forget, if you guys are finding value from the video so far, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment Monetary Makeup down below. Okay everybody, so it is swatch time. We're gonna go from left to right. So the first shade right here is the ColourPop Light Sticks in the shade Star Bright. Next to that is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Highlighter. They only have one shade, so that's it right there. And above that is the NYX Brow Pen in the shade Taupe. Next up is the Urban Decay Face and Lip Tint in the shade Quiver. Next to that is the Westman Atelier Stick in the shade Biscuit. Next up are the base products. This top swatch is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C4. And right below that is the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator in the shade Porcelain, which is the lightest shade. Next up are the two half-cake bronzers. The first shade is Morning Dew, and the next shade is Coolness. Then we have the Rms Burrity Bronzer. You can see that red undertone right there. And next is the Wet n Wild Matte Lipstick in the shade Skinny Dipping, and the e.l.f. Retro Paradise Lip Gloss. Okay, you guys, so hopefully those swatches were helpful for you. Now on to the topic of the day. The biggest monetary millennial mistake I see made, and what solutions do we have for those mistakes? So what ends up happening is a lot of millennials, they go to college and now they have these huge outstanding student loan debts, and now they can't even afford to survive, let alone save money, and now they're stuck paying a heck of a lot more in rent than they would if they were able to purchase a home. So it just ends up becoming this revolving circle of my income isn't high enough to pay off this college loan debt. Now the other problem I see with millennials, in addition to having so much student loan debt that they're not able to pay that off and have a high income stream, is that millennials really phased out of being offered pensions and 401ks. So pensions and 401ks are not a requirement in the United States, and in fact, especially pensions, they're becoming completely obsolete. So it really lands into the business owner or entrepreneur for millennials to take control of your finances. So you have to find other ways of investing your money and creating a higher income, because we no longer can rely on other retirement streams such as a pension or a 401k. So this took me a while to figure out, but the key to fixing this #1 millennial money mistake is you have to figure out a way to increase your income. Because at the end of the day, in order to invest, in order to save money, have a secure retirement in the future, you have to have enough of an income in order to do that. And that is a huge tip that I never hear anyone talking about. It's almost like people just assume every millennial is able to save money and that they're not living paycheck to paycheck, when in reality, most of them are. Did you guys ever hear the bridge example in economy class, whether that be in college or high school? The idea is, while yes, there is an upfront cost to building the bridge, they're able to charge a toll over and over for building that bridge one time. And while yes, eventually they may end up having to invest some of that money into keeping up the bridge, but most of the upfront expense is already paid for. That same reality works for income. So my biggest tip for you is find a field of study that you can create income in your sleep. Nowadays, with the pandemic and with virtual becoming a more of an everyday reality, there are so many different ways that you can create income while you sleep. You could start a YouTube channel. You could write a book. You could create a course that creates a consistent income stream that then leads to other income streams. So I'm not telling anyone that they should not go to college. There are definitely fields of study that college definitely pays off, typically with lawyers, doctors, teachers, certain degrees of that nature. However, if you did not go to that field of study, or if you're finding yourself in a situation where your debt to income ratio is way too high to pay off these college loan debts, then I definitely suggest finding out a way to create an income stream in your sleep. Because at the end of the day, if you're not able to save money, you're not able to invest money. So I know a lot of you probably thought I was going to be discussing investment strategies today, which of course is important, but you have to have the income in order to invest and save money. I really suggest thinking about it. There might be a passion or some sort of skills that you already have that you can incorporate in some of these virtual skills that you can then turn into not only one income stream, but multiple income streams. So I hope this tip was helpful for all the millennials out there. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely leave them down below. And if you're getting value so far, don't forget to comment monetary makeup down below. And next, we're going to cut into the wear test. Hi everybody, hopefully the topic of the day was helpful for you guys. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, definitely leave them down below and I'll do my best to get to every single one of them. Please excuse the cars or birds chirping. As far as my makeup goes, it has been on for 10 hours going strong. I think everything just looks absolutely beautiful. The eye makeup, the brows, the face, everything has lasted beautifully. And I would say the standout product for me is just the brand in general from Half Cake. They're vegan, cruelty-free, and I believe they do international shipping, so just another plus in my book. And they make amazing, affordable products. The price is really just a bonus. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and share it with someone who you might think will find it helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye, guys.